Hello and welcome to How Mundane, the least interesting place on the internet. Today, we got some old Marvel cards and gonna talk about Thunderbolts. But before we get to that, a few housekeeping notes. So, first of all, you may have noticed that I have been getting into some of the footage backlog that I have sitting around. And you'll notice that these videos are the ones that are marked, hey, sorry if any of this is not timely, it was recorded on some other date. So I've got probably 40 videos that we recorded through the course of last fall that just for one reason or another got pushed to the side, and we'll be getting through those just to keep pace with our existing 2 releases a week schedule. Obviously, we will interject when things are new and timely. I don't know if it's web shooters. There's Scarlet Witch, Daredevil versus Punisher, new Fantastic Four, Hawkeye. So hopefully we'll start getting through that backlog. But if during the course of videos you notice things are not timely, look for the little note. That is probably why I got a little too ambitious last fall as far as filming things, and then as new things came up, had to continually kind of push things back to make room for those things that were super duper timely. Second, in conjunction with that, a bunch of those videos are what some of you may have been waiting for, new mystery pack reviews. Those always show up in the shorts and on Instagram, so keep an eye out. I think I've got, 10 new mystery products or so that I've gotten in just within the last couple of weeks, and finally got all those shot, but I have to sit down and edit them. Those are a little time consuming because you have to do math, and math is not my strong suit. So third, coming up here in the not too distant future, will be the 1-year anniversary of How Mundane. Do have something special planned as far as a video for that. So be on the lookout. It is in June. I will definitely put that up with a premiere so that you can know that it's coming before it comes out. Fourth and finally, on my housekeeping announcements, NTX Card Show, the May edition, is coming up here in a little less than 10 days, I believe, from when this goes up, or right about 10 days. You can still get tickets online in advance using code Mundane for 50% off. So please take advantage of that deal and come join us at NTX in Frisco on Sunday. Gosh, what day is that? May the 18th, I believe. As you can tell, I do not script these things, so apologies if I'm off by a day, but I think that's great. So, Thunderbolts came out last weekend, and in fact has been one of a number of Marvel things that have come out lately. We had the Captain America movie a couple months ago. We had the new Daredevil Born Again series that just wrapped up, and then we had Thunderbolts come out. So, what do I think of what's going on in the MCU these days? And of course, there are spoilers, so if you do not want any of those things spoiled, because I will be talking about all 3 of those, please come back later after you've had a chance to watch them. So, Daredevil was good, Thunderbolts was good, Captain America was, I think, necessary to clean up the MCU timeline, but not really essential for anyone to watch. But it kind of needed to happen just to get some pieces on the board and in the right places, leading into all of the big stuff that is coming with Fantastic Four in July, and then, of course, the big event of Doomsday and Secret Wars coming after that. So, let's talk Thunderbolts first. Went and saw Thunderbolts opening weekend. It was probably the most enjoyable MCU film since, I guess Deadpool and Wolverine last year was pretty good, but before that, you're going a ways back. I mean, I don't know that this was quite as good as Endgame or, some of those kind of things, but I mean, it's up there. It's one of the better MCU films. The tone works really well. The cast does a great job. There's Annihilus, someone who I would love to see in the MCU. They did a great job with Bob as Sentry and Void, which is a character that honestly I thought was going to be very difficult to adapt and was kind of skeptical of him showing up. But they actually did a really good job, I think. I'm not sure that you could have done any better given that character's kind of complicated existence, history, etc. In the scope of the MCU. I guess we will see what comes for him in future projects, and with his power scaling being what it is, can always present some interesting questions. There is a Wolverine. Interesting questions going forward. So we'll just have to see how they continue to handle him, but was very pleased with how he turned out on screen. Thought it was a very, interesting, grounded movie with kind of some, here we go, first hologram, Fantastic Four versus Mole Man. To see if some of that will wipe off or if that is. These holograms of this era are unfortunately just so hard to get flawless copies of. And so you can see there's some little spots over here. Maybe we can get off with a microfiber cloth, but we'll see. Thor, Wolverine's claws. Yeah, all in all, great movie. Extremely good post-credits scene that definitely sets the stage for things to come. Was interesting seeing today Marvel going out and ripping off the asterisk to retitle the film New Avengers. That's definitely how the film concludes itself, with a whole discussion about who are the New Avengers or who are the Avengers. It was also interesting seeing comments from one of the writers that, speaking of, there's the U.S. agent, that Taskmaster had a completely different arc in the movie under the original script. So I guess we'll see if that death ends up staying permanent. I assume it will, but yeah. So that brings us to Daredevil, which, the original Daredevil series on Netflix was absolutely fantastic. I thoroughly liked the Punisher spinoff, liked Jessica Jones, liked Luke Cage, didn't so much like Iron Fist, didn't love Defenders, but I think the Born Again series definitely lived up to what you would have expected as a continuation of that series. It is a little unfortunate that it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, but at least I guess there is the X-Men card. We have the guaranteed second season, so I'm glad that we will see more of what's going on, and I'm glad they decided to flesh out the story, since from what I understand, the reason it got expanded into... here is our second Punisher hologram. Very nice. they expanded the story to flesh out 2 full seasons rather than try and cram everything down into 1 season. And I do think, by and large, it seems like that has paid off. I guess we will see. There are already set photos coming out of the 2nd season filming that is already going on, and the 2nd season is supposed to debut next March. So lots of things to look forward to there. So all in all, I hope that this is a sign that the MCU is getting itself back on track after kind of floundering around for the better part of the last more than a few years, the better part of everything post Infinity War and Endgame, really. Yeah, this seems like it's a positive development. Seems like we're going to get some very cool, and if you are trying to avoid spoilers about casting stuff for Doomsday, I will say now is the time that you want to close your ears, because it looks like we are getting a crossover to the Fox X-Men universe with a bunch of those actors being named in the cast video that they released recently. So, my hopes are up that the MCU is getting back on track, and we'll have a good couple of years here with the Doomsday, Secret Wars, and the couple other movies that are popping up in between, like the Spider-Man Brand New Day, etc., etc., etc. So, if you are on the fence about going to see Thunderbolts, I would recommend going to see it. There's another Spider-Man. In theaters, it's definitely worth it. Yeah, I know movies can be expensive these days, but definitely was worth the time to go see that one. And I'm thinking that Fantastic Four will also be, a definitely go see in theaters kind of situation. Again, based on the trailers, I am optimistic. I do kind of like Pedro Pascal's take on Reed Richards that seems to be, a little more self-doubting perhaps than you might expect. I also do like the take on Johnny Storm that seems to be less of a just a jerk and more just kind of a boisterous. So we'll see how all of that plays out here in, just a little over 2 months, I guess, until we get Fantastic Four First Steps. So yeah, I am pretty excited. Also pretty excited about these cards because these Series 2 Marvel cards were ones that I actually collected back when I was a kid. And finding a whole intact booster box of these to open for one of our videos was pretty exciting. Let's see, we got 5 packs left. See if we can pull at least one more hologram. Human Torch, there's classic Avengers. Of course, we've always got a pretty good selection of Marvel cards, as well as at least a few comic slabs when we are at NTX. So if you're into Marvel stuff, come find us at the Frisco Conference Center here in a couple weeks. Some of this stuff will likely be headed off for grading, so it may not be there, but should have quite a bit of it. And we do have some other, both classic Marvel stuff and some of the newer stuff, like the Japanese Weiss Schwartz series that has some pretty cool cards in it. 2 packs left. Silver Surfer Galactus. Venom. Spider-Man vs. Venom. Captain Britain. New Warriors. Another Ultron. Thor. Will we get any luck out of the last pack? 2 holograms is a little disappointing for a whole box. In other boxes, I've gotten 3 or 4. Punisher. Gambit. Daredevil again. And ending with Jubilee. Well, hey, thanks for being mundane with us. We will see you next time. Bye.